Binge eating is such an emotionally frenetic activity that no other concerns can exist in the same space. Whereas My 600-Pound Life follows people who have eaten themselves to morbidity and want to embark on extraordinary weight loss journeys in the hopes of changing their lives. Unfortunately, not every story on the reality show has a happy conclusion. And in today's video, we'll show such people. So, let's roll. Kalisa McMillian.
One of these days, I'm really just not gonna wake up. My kids are gonna come in and find me dead.
Kalisa came on season 8 of the show. The Louisiana native recently passed away, and the reason for her death, apparently, were complications from the weight loss surgery she underwent. When we first saw the 42-year-old, she weighed 643 pounds and lost 150 pounds by the end of her episode. She confessed to the camera that she had squandered her life on food, and her entire life revolved around hunger and the desire for food. She was tired because food had taken over her life. Her body seemed to be attempting to give up, but it was far too soon, as she had to be there for her children. We witnessed her begin her episode with a shower, which was given to her by her sister because she couldn't shower for more than 5 minutes. Her massiveness was also giving her back a lot of agony. So after the My 600-Pound Life famed shower drill, which our eyes avoided featuring on, all she did was lay down to rest. All of this prompted the mother of four's desire to reclaim control of her life and break the pattern of overeating to cope with her past trauma. Kalisa had struggled with her weight for a long time. Her father was an alcoholic as a child, and he took out his rage on Kalisa and her 4 siblings' mother. All of this drove her to the point where she required surgery to lose weight, but Dr. Now was adamant that surgery wasn't a miraculous fix for his patients. But even after a successful procedure, her body gave up on her.
I'm upset.
Why are you upset?
Because I thought I did way better than what I did.
Sean Milliken.
He may be approaching 1,000 pounds.
Sean Milliken had struggled with his weight since childhood. He claimed that things got out of hand after his parents divorced, and he turned to food for comfort. And things got worse when he became bedridden following a serious leg injury during his final year of high school. He weighed at least 400 pounds. Milliken made it to the show in 2016, when his weight topped 900 pounds and he couldn't stand for more than 30 seconds. During his time on the show, he could be seen sitting up with the help of a bar suspended from his ceiling before wiggling down to the end of the bed and urinating in a blue pail, since it was too difficult to stand. He described his existence as absolute torment because he couldn't move or even get out. His mother, Renee, who died in 2017 from kidney-related issues, said her son had to be cared for from head to toe. Sean couldn't even clean himself on his own anymore, which was crucial because he had open sores all over his body. And when Sean arrived at Dr. Now's office, it was pointed out that he and his mother had created the usual enabling dynamic, and Milliken would never lose enough weight until that changed. And as Dr. Now predicts, the California native initially lost no weight. As a result, the mother and son duo were directed to a counselor, where they worked together to address the underlying emotional issues that had led to their current situation. It helped, and Sean lost enough weight to be approved for surgery, but 2 weeks after returning to the hospital, Sean died from cardiac arrest, resulting from an infection.
I have worked pretty hard for this moment.
This is good. You're under 600 pounds.
Gina Crazley.
I wake up every day to the same miserable experience.
When we first met Crazley in 2020, she had opened up about her abusive upbringing and tough life. At the age of 14, she weighed over 300 pounds, and by the time she got to Dr. Now, her weight doubled, and she had become immobile. She knew that her body was in bad shape, and it was getting worse every day. She and her wife were living with Gina's mother at the time. She admitted that she was guilty of putting the whole pressure on her wife, Beth, and their marriage. She didn't have the finest childhood. Crazley and her sister were forced to live with their abusive father even after their parents divorced. She turned to food as a coping technique for the abuse, depression, and anxiety she was experiencing. She was able to overlook the suffering thanks to food. She had ballooned up to 450 pounds by the time she graduated high school, and she had hit the 500-pound threshold at the age of 19. Crazily struggled to lose the required 50 pounds before surgery, even on the show. Despite the fact that her size prevented her from pursuing her passion of becoming a dancer, she squandered a huge opportunity in life. Dr. Now gave Crazily multiple chances to lose weight on her own, and the worst part was that she got approved for her surgery, which was canceled after Crazily gained 13 pounds.
You showed me today that you're not sticking with it like you need. So I'm canceling your surgery, and we're not moving ahead with that today.
Kelly Mason.
Sometimes I dread waking up because my life is a nightmare.
Kelly had a rough childhood that was only made easier by her urge to eat excessively. Mason, during her appearance on the show, told us that she grew up with her grandparents because her mother traveled a lot and didn't want to look after her. Unfortunately, Mason's grandfather died in front of her. Her grandmother was placed in a nursing home, which further destroyed the mother-daughter relationship. She despised her mother and wished to be a better mother to her children. However, due to her weight, she was unable to have children of her own, no matter how dedicated she was to the attempt. So, on the whole, food was the only thing she could rely on emotionally. By the time she arrived in Houston, the Carolina native had gained over 700 pounds and was suffering from a number of serious health issues, including high blood pressure, diabetes, blood clots, arthritis, and even congestive heart failure. Audiences cheered Mason on as she lost the first 100 pounds after being admitted to the hospital by Dr. Now, and then even more as she stuck to her plan and lost another 220 pounds after being authorized for weight loss surgery.
That's great. In a couple of days, you're going to be under 600.
I know, right?
But what really crushed our hearts is that even after such a run, Mason died in her sleep from cardiac arrest, making her the show's second participant to pass away while it was being filmed. And it really crushed our hearts.
My life has been unbearable, and it just seems like it's getting worse.
Robert Butchell.
We came in, and the doctor pronounced he was dead.
During his initial appearance on the show, 840-pound Robert got off to a flying start. He was able to lose 124 pounds. After surgery to remove one of his lymphedema tumors, he underwent a surgical procedure to remove extra fat. Robert's weight had plummeted to 502 pounds. After 5 months, it was reported that Butchell had lost a total of 340 pounds. Unfortunately, he became addicted to painkillers after what was otherwise a successful surgery. Dr. Now, the show's resident surgeon, attempted to wean him off of the pain medication, but Robert refused to exercise or even get out of bed, delaying his recovery. Catherine Lemansky, Robert's fiancée, spoke out about his untimely death by stating that she had lost her best friend and the person with whom she was supposed to spend the rest of her life.
Though I've only been here on this earth for 33 years, I can easily say that I've never met anyone like Rob. He was exciting, he was loving, he was romantic, and he was, above all, my best friend.
Dr. Now, on the other hand, was also taken aback by his death, stating that Robert lost his battle with addiction, but he never gave up.
He knew that he was running against the clock and his body gave up, but he never did give up.
Before we go on to the last patient who died while filming his weight loss journey on our list, we'd love to hear your thoughts on today's video, as well as if you have any other favorite shows that you'd like to see on our channel. L.B. Bonner.
Right now, the prosthetic leg I use is barely able to hold my weight.
Bonner died of a laceration in his brain caused by a self-inflicted single gunshot wound to the head, a terrible conclusion for a man who was an inspiration to so many people struggling with weight. Before his death, the 30-year-old wrote a Facebook message thanking everyone for their support and saying that he needed to, quote, face his demons. When viewers first met Bonner, he weighed 642 pounds and spoke up about how his weight troubles began as a result of melancholy brought on by losing his leg in a car accident. James responded effectively to Dr. Now's plan throughout his tenure on the show, losing a remarkable 316 pounds, which was almost half his body weight at the time. When the camera stopped shooting, Bonner managed to keep the weight off and is reported to have dropped to around 200 pounds. Destiny Honeycutt, Bonner's long-term girlfriend, also posted a touching statement on social media after James's death, claiming that all she needed was for him to return. He was dubbed the greatest man her her best friend, and the love of my life by her. The family filed a lawsuit against the show's production firm in early 2020, according to reports. The Megalomedia production firm allegedly coerced James into filming, didn't follow through on key commitments, and failed to offer the proper mental health care, according to the lawsuit.
I feel like I'm trapped, and it's pretty much life or death at this point.
Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.